What up, y'all? What are we doing?
Book club.
We're doing a book club.
Hello, T, and I'm probably gonna say this wrong. And Tanya. Hello, Captivated Nightshade. Hello, Chelsea. She said I should have refreshed my memory on this one and read a Spark Notes or something. Yeah, I do feel like
well, we did a longer thing, right? It wasn't
bit.
4 weeks again. It was like 5 weeks, I think. I definitely read it right at the beginning, and then read another book. So it's like even today, I was like, wait, is this the one with D&D? And you're like, no, it's the other one. I'm like, okay. So now I'm trying to figure out what happened.
Hello, Christy. Did you finish it? Dude, I'm hot. Why did I wear this big sweater?
I don't know. Your sweater seems like really big.
Ugh.
You don't even have like the hood on the right way.
Is it like 1,000,000 degrees in here?
No, it's cold. I don't know why I'm checking my watch. Check that.
It doesn't say anything.
You gotta wave at it. Wave in front of it. It didn't work.
I read it a few weeks after it was published, so it's been a while.
Oh, so you're worse than us.
It's a big book.
Is the chat working? No, it's not, right? I can't see.
She said almost, but I kind of skipped through the rest of it. Did you not like it? I don't remember what I gave it. It's cold in Arizona. What is cold to you? Like 60? I would love for it to be 60 right now.
It's 46 right now.
No, inside.
For us. Oh, I don't know, like 60. It's at least 63 in here, because that's what I have the thing set to. So if you guys didn't know, we are going over this little book right here that we read this month. So if you didn't read it, is this even the right hand? Nope, it would be this hand. Right? Yeah.
Hello. It was okay. I need to say the part where Roger said, "Did we do this about the heart quake wreck me?"
I actually took a note at some point.
What?
There was one part of it that I was just like bawling almost.
What?
Shut up. Leave me alone. Can I live? Can I live my life? Jeez.
I don't think I even got... Oh, where she goes to kill herself?
Stop it.
This is a spoiler chat.
No, stop trying to guess what my thing is. I don't even know where my notes are.
36 degrees. That's pretty cold. I don't know. I had a hard time connecting with these characters. So I started with the audiobook. We actually tried to read it on the way down to Florida. It didn't work out so well. So then I picked up the physical book, read the beginning, and then went back to the audio/physical. And I feel like the audiobook for once was... Not for once, but it's kind of rare that it like ruins it for me. And like I just didn't like some of the characters in this audiobook.
Well, you weren't supposed... The ones that you didn't like, you weren't supposed to like.
I know, but they just sounded dumb.
Well, you got to realize that lady was made out of different people.
Yeah.
So that's why her voice was kind of like every once and it would kind of speed up and slow down, and then she'd get really angry. She was also like a monster. She was like a homunculus. She wasn't like a human. You got to realize that. I guess I realized that.
None of the other ones...
Because they weren't built like her. They weren't made like her. She was like crazy. The other ones weren't crazy like her. She was made like out of a bunch of different... The other ones were like grown in a magical alchemic circle. I don't know. But like they were more normal than her. Like she was... What was her name? Lee?
Yeah, I think. I don't know. Her voice just bugged me. I felt like it was...
But that was it. That was the only person.
And the other guy too.
The doctor?
The man scientist guy. I can't remember his name.
The main doctor?
He bugged me. Like, their voices just bugged me. And then, as characters, like, I get they're supposed to be annoying characters, and they were in my mind. So, like, I just didn't care for them. And, like, every time they would be in the story, I was like... Ugh.
I thought they were fine. I towards the end, she got worse. She definitely got... the voice actor started doing more with her at the end, towards the end of the series, of the book or whatever. I really liked... took 3 notes. I have 3 notes. My first note was the shifting between their perspectives I thought was done perfectly. Like, I loved going from Roger to Dodger and back, and like to me, like sometimes when that happens in the story, it's very jarring. It doesn't feel right. But to me, like for them to, it was like I was like, oh, okay, yeah. No. I just realized that now we're doing her, even though I knew that it was her that was talking now and it was her point of view. It didn't feel wrong. It didn't feel like forced in any way. I just like when I realized that I was like, huh, I like this. I like how she did this. Like she wrote that part very well.
She's definitely a good writer. She's the one that wrote Every Heart a Doorway series, I think it's called, the Wayward Children series. And I really liked the way she wrote that. She is a good writer. This was not my favorite. I think, I don't know, that those characters drove me kind of crazy. I did like, however, how like she took it not so literal, that like one was good at reading and one was good at math. So like Roger was good at or Dodger rather was good at like everything in life pertaining to math or that had math in it, basically. So it wasn't so like cut and dry, or it was like only math that she was good at.
Okay, so my other thing that I thought was really good was both of the main characters. I thought they were written very realistically. Writing children is usually really hard, but I guess the fact that they were kind of genius children made it seem more believable, because it's hard for an adult to write a child, right? That's what I hate about child actors in movies and stuff, because that's not realistic. Like a kid would never do that. But if you're a genius kid, now it's more believable, you see? Like now so I never felt like it never pulled me out, like them doing some crazy realistic stuff. I love the subtleness of the him being colorblind.
Yeah, that was
like
cool.
I was just like, oh, that's very clever. And like they didn't, when he first saw it through her eyes, he was like, oh, it's so much brighter in California. And I was just like, that's weird. Yeah, I guess it kind of is brighter in California compared to like, Mass.
Yeah.
And then later you find out, oh, it's because he's colorblind. And I was just like, that's cute. I like it. It's pretty good. Are you okay?
I'm reading The Sun Is Also a Star. I never read that. I connected with Roger, and it's the only one. That was T. Turning the page. So Christy says that voice actor's voice for Lee drove me nuts. Me too, dude. T said, oh yeah, that was nice, the colors and the distance. Yeah, so that was cool. I felt like I didn't really care for any of the adult characters. I didn't really care for any characters except for Roger and Dodger, I guess I could say. I didn't really get emotional at that part.
What about like, what was her name? Allison? Is that her name? Allison? The girlfriend?
No. Aaron?
Maybe. Same thing.
Nah. So, I don't know. I feel like, I guess it was written well because, like, she never really was, like, a truly good character. Like, Roger was never able to, like, transition her into a good person. Like, she did what she had to do and she never changed that stance, essentially.
She lived like a bajillion lives.
They all did.
No, I know, but she remembered
How did you
a bunch
like
of
that?
them.
Like the timey-wimey aspect.
That was fine.
Of it.
It made sense. It wouldn't make sense that they would succeed in their first try, So it made sense that they had to reboot, keep restarting, and they really didn't fully succeed at the end. They just lived.
But like their whole thing of.
But they could just go back, and they're even at the end. They're like, "Do you want to go back? Should we do it again?" And they're like, "I don't know. Maybe we should just see how this goes for a while." I like that they became a family at the end with the other two children.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. Even though they were adults at this point, they weren't even kids anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, Allison or whatever. I think she did a really good job. That's her name now. It's Allison. I thought she was cool. I thought it was awesome that she like remembered everything, and it was just like, what? I thought it was very weird, the whole they were in not reincarnations, but embodiments of certain things. I thought that was like a very.
They didn't go over that well enough. I don't feel like it was the. Oh my god. What were the embodiments of? It was something very specific, and now I can't remember.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Like she was order, and her counterpart was destruction or something.
Who?
Aaron.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the other two.
Math and reading.
Yeah, but is that like that's not a thing, right? The embodiment
know.
of math and reading. Like reading though, like Like, he can read good, but, like, he can apparently also retain the knowledge, so it's not just reading. It's, like...
Well, like I said, I liked that aspect of
But again,
this book.
they didn't explain it.
Yeah.
Well enough. I agree.
Like, what they actually were. I don't know. Christy said, I didn't care for the time warps and timelines. It really threw me out of it. I enjoyed the Roger and Dodger moments, and they were very, codependent, and they were like yin and yang, maybe. So yeah, like, they were well-written characters. They were by far my favorite characters, and even still, like, I agree with T that, like, I think I liked Roger better just as a person. Dodger wasn't, like, as memorable, I guess, to me. I don't know. I thought it was interesting how if one of them were to die, it throws the other one, like, completely off balance. Like...
Or they die.
But, I mean...
I did not get the whole, like, separating them and, like... And then, like, they couldn't be near each other because reasons.
Like, their mind link would have, like something with the mind link.
Exactly. The fact that we don't know is the problem. Yeah. The fact that we don't know why this was a thing. Like, the whole alchemist thing was, like, it was, like, light magic with science, but it wasn't, like, explained enough. The science, or the
fake science?
No, not the fake science, but the magic system didn't make sense, right? There was no explanation for the magic system.
Well,
it was
just
like
to be science, not magic.
So them is science, them just understanding.
Yeah, they were like,
as soon as they understand something, then the world changes. Then they can travel in time. Jesus.
That was my throat.
Yeah, I know. It's nasty.
I can't think of the embodiment of what. Can someone help me? I don't remember. You know what I think? I did think it was cool, though, how Asphodel, the original alchemist, they went back to, like, her story throughout this book.
I think so, too, but I feel like it was so out of this world that you have to reread it to really appreciate those parts.
Yeah.
Like, you don't understand even who's talking until, like, halfway through, unless you're, like, super smart, which I guess it may have just gone over my head. Maybe it wasn't my type of book, but it was very, like, I liked the main character. Oh my god, when she tried to kill herself and he's talking on the phone with the receptionist and she, like, believes him, like, on my eyes just, like, got all, like, I'm, like, trying to drive and I was like, I can't see. This is terrible.
I don't know, like, I usually cry over everything, and I didn't even cry for that because I was just like, I felt like it was, like, maybe too much of a cop-out, where I was just like, oh, here we go, like, one of them's gonna try to kill herself.
But you knew that she wasn't gonna succeed, so why did you care?
Maybe not. I don't know.
It wasn't like the Chewie part in Star Wars.
What?
When Chewie died, and then they're like, no, he didn't die.
Oh. Roger had more emotions in his part. Dodger was more cold as a character.
But math. That's the difference between math and reading, right?
It's true. Math is more cold.
And reading is more emotional.
It's like words bring me to a human and numbers are cold. That's literally
wow.
what she said. I guess you need someone else to use words, and maths, you can do them alone. It's true. I never understood exactly what they were doing. The person who came up with the way to make all the kids the way they were, I wish it was explained better. I plan on rereading it someday. So that was Chelsea. I don't think I'm going to reread this book.
Me neither. What I don't like is the synopsis. Like, can you read the synopsis out loud?
Meet Roger, skilled with words. Languages come easily to him. He instinctively understands how the world works through the power of story. Meet Dodger, his twin. Numbers are her world, her obsession, her everything. All she understands, she does so through the power of math. Roger and Dodger aren't exactly human, though they don't realize it. They aren't exactly gods either, not entirely, not yet. Meet Reed, skilled in the alchemical arts like his progenitor before him. Reed created Dodger and her brother. He's not their father, not quite, but he has a plan to raise the twins to the highest power, to ascend with them, to claim their authority as his own. Godhood is attainable, pray it isn't attained.
Okay. I don't remember that last part. The first time
I don't think I ever read it.
I don't think you got that far, and that's why I was like, this book sounds awesome. And then, like, if I knew that last, like, 2 sentences, I would not have wanted to read this book, because I thought he was, like, a good guy. I thought he was, like, their foster parent that was, like, teaching. That's the first half of that paragraph. I was like, oh, this is gonna be some cool fantasy crap. It's gonna be like he's gonna train them how to do stuff. It's gonna be like an origin story, and not like the end where they're like, yeah, he wants to make them strong so he could take their power. Like that's. If I knew that, I did not know that going into this book. Thanks a lot for not reading the end of the thing for me and making me read this book. I didn't hate it. It was definitely above average for me. The writing was what really made it for me. The writing and the character development, I think, is what really made it for me. The story was like so-so. I actually loved all of the, what is that type of series or genre that I don't like?
Contemporary?
I liked all the contemporary stuff in it. Like they're just basic life because it was woven in with like sci-fi, like the connecting themselves to each other. That I love that part.
Which comes first, the author of the book title? Sometimes we buy books just because it's charming titles with unknown authors. Yeah, so I mean, I had read Shauna McGuire before, but she has a lot of books, and this was, not my first book I read of hers. So it definitely intrigued me more, like that I had read stuff by her and liked it, that I wanted to read it. But this book got crazy hype when it first came out, so I feel like I would have wanted to read it anyway, even though I knew who it was.
Another thing too, this cover like is dumb. Like I thought
it's that hand.
It's the hand, but it's not even the right. Like it's supposed to be a human hand.
Yeah.
With like and does it even have the candle?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you just light the finger though?
I thought you had to light all the fingers.
I get it, but does it have the wicks in it?
I thought it did.
Okay, I don't remember if it did, but
it a candle.
But it's supposed to look like a human hand, not like a mannequin's hand.
Yeah.
Like this is and the thing is too, like they really like cheaped out on this cover, which I feel really bad for them for doing this because these wicks are literally just little white lines that they drew in on Photoshop. And then like
you are the only person that notices these types of things.
Look at the little. It's not even like an actual wick. It's not even actually there. There's no shadow to it at all. The flames aren't even in the right spot on the tips of the thing. You see that? Like, look at that one. It's like off to the side. Like it doesn't. So I know it's a dumb thing, but it's like if it was like a human hand chopped off with like wicks on it, which you could Photoshop. A novice Photoshopper could do that. I could do that. I could take a hand, chop it off, like just like not literally chop it off, but just like edit it off, and then shut up. Or have like another hand holding a hand, right? Like what if it was like something like that, and then it's like a hand holding it, but it was like chopped off right there. That would be so much cooler with the candles and maybe like one of the fingers like partially burned down. Such a better, it would be like, whoa, what is that about? Why? What? Anyway, whatever.
It annoys me that it's a standalone. I feel there's too much left unanswered. I don't know. I don't want to read it.
I wouldn't want to read a second one. I
didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. So overall, I think my initial reaction was a 3.5 stars. I think I'm going to give it a 3.
Oh.
Nothing about it, wholly, stood out to me as, a great book. I don't know. Maybe I'm just jaded.
I love that word. I love saying that.
I'm just this, and I thought about it. I recently went through my books that I've read this year, and none of them have been outstanding. I've had a very mediocre year so far. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's a 3.5 because I did like it, I guess, more than a 3. What do you think? I think you said 3.5 to a 4 initially.
Yeah. I'd say a 3.5.
It was one of the first books I ever did on audio. I think I missed some. I found the whole premise and idea cool and weird. It's a tough audiobook read, I gotta say. I read audiobooks every day.
I think it all depends on the person. I thought it was fine.
It was not my favorite. I think the book is written so that we know only what the characters learned instead of the whole background story. I like that about it, growing with the character and learning with them. I like that type of thing. I think it's a little boring when the author gives you, the reader, too much information that the characters themselves don't know, because then you're like, well, you know what's going to happen. When are they going to find out? And it's not that big, oh my God moment. I mean, wasn't that wax hand thing kind of magic? I don't Yeah, it was magical.
It was magic, yeah. But it was science magic. Alchemy. I feel like alchemy is like the best word for science magic because that's really what it is.
I like her alter ego more, Myra Grant. Is that like the author's? Is that like one of her pen names? Hello, Books on Stereo. Dang, I'm so late. I love The Hand of God. I've read one of her other books, but under her other name, Into the Drowning Deep, and I liked the writing style, but didn't understand why the story was so hyped and didn't like it at all. It was so boring.
I did again. I don't think it was boring. I like timey-wimey stuff though. As soon as that timey-wimey,
I don't like timey-wimey stuff. Like, this is something that me and him like are complete opposites.
Well, it's because like I like paying attention to the little details, but like I feel like there weren't a lot of little details, but I liked like the whole talking to themselves through time and alternate versions of themselves. It wasn't really a lot of like timey-wimey because it was more them rewinding time.
Yeah.
It wasn't like them traveling in time. So it's a different type of time travel. But I do like that. And somebody said, I think it ended well. I agree. I think it ended well. I think
they also went, what? I give it a 5 out of 5.
It doesn't mean that it's not a 5 out of 5. It's just our opinion.
I know that this is like their favorite book that they read like last year. So I mean, it's for some people and it's not for others, just like every book out there. I don't want to read any more of it, just left feeling unsatisfied. T said I rounded it to a 4 on Goodreads. I feel you have to start off slow and then speed it up. Christy said I'm at a 3.
Sometimes like the starting off slow thing, it's a good, it depends really, because like some books will start off really fast, slow down,
like,
and then
the heck?
No, but then slow down and then speed up again. But like it really all depends. Like sometimes you want to start off fast to hook somebody, right? You want them, and then you want to kind of like explain a little bit, and then you want to get into the meat of the story. Like I feel like Brandon Sanderson does that a lot with his stories. It starts off like, what is happening? And it's like a bunch of exposition, which isn't always bad. Books are basically exposition, right? That's all, explaining to you what's going on.
It depends on how it's done. If it's done well.
Yeah, it really does. But Brandon Sanderson, I feel like, does that a lot. He usually like will start off faster. Not a lot, but like...
Except with Mistborn.
Well, he did, because it was like teaching us all the crazy shit that's happening.
He also started with...
What?
Like the very beginning isn't even under her eyes.
Yeah, it's exactly. But that's what I'm saying. It's like, whoa, look at this world that's happening. Like, what's going on, you know? And then you go slow, and then you learn about the world more, and you learn the rules. Like, the rules are the big thing that made me not love this as much, is because, like, I like to know the rules. I like the fake science stuff. Like, that's my favorite. So I love games or books that are like games where they have a system and they teach you the system, you know. That's why I love the books that I love. But I didn't dislike it. I definitely think it's, some people, I can see some people giving it a 5 or a star, you know, out of 5.
The structure was definitely weird, but it works. It's a pen name. I like how they didn't just call it telepathy. Yeah, it was a little more deep than that, I think. Chrissy said, I loved Into the Drowning Deep. That was a 5-star. I didn't even know that was her that wrote that. I thought Into the Drowning Deep was boring. That's under her pen name. I thought Middlegame was much more entertaining. Books on Stereo says, dang, I feel so bad. I'm not a fan of Sanderson.
See, that's the difference, right? So you're on the other, like, just because there will probably be some books that overlap that we all like, but, you know, like, you're more over here and I'm more over here. It doesn't mean that you're wrong or I'm wrong, you know? I just like having these because, like, you can tell me why you liked it. And sometimes I've changed your mind.
Yeah, and you've changed mine. Or opposite.
Yes, both of those things are true. It has happened both things.
Dang it. Yeah, I don't know. Like,
usually don't change our minds fully, but we'll like knock it down from like being a 5 to like a 4.5, or you're like, yeah, this is a good point. I didn't actually like that part.
And then sometimes you just can't change my mind. Like,
I know, I try.
Season.
Oh my god, it's so bad. It's such a bad book. It's so bad. I hate it. But that twist though that you told me about the end, I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. That made me want to go back, and I tried to go back, but it just didn't work out.
I read 2 of the books out of the Wayward Children series, and I liked both of them. However, I didn't continue reading because I liked the first one the best. I missed the second one, and then I read the third one. So maybe that's why too. I was expecting to be terrified by Into the Drowning Deep. I'm terrified of water, but I didn't find that book scary at all, but I would never be able to watch a movie adaptation of it. Makes sense. I love the horror element of Into the Drowning Deep, but I'm not a fan of horror. I clearly, like, I can't believe I didn't know that she had a pen name.
I have never read a scary book that was actually, like, scary.
I would say that I don't really think I have either, but that I tend to not read scary books very often. Like, I read fantasy and stuff like that. However, or they end up being not scary.
Halloween. Remind me to tell you about Halloween when you're done.
Okay. I don't read a lot of thrillers, but that Deadfall book that you picked for me, that book really had me, like, anxious, like, reading it. And I was like, dang. All right.
Halloween. Okay. We should figure out a book that everybody says is super scary for October. We should start planning that now. If you guys have any suggestions for October for Halloween, let us know.
And Then There Were None is pretty creepy. Hello from Thailand. So yeah, I thought the book was pretty good, but I was a little underwhelmed, I think, because of all the hype, and I just am not a huge fan of the timey-wimey aspect. The fact that they didn't really explain it very well, in my opinion. And I'm a person that doesn't really understand time stuff anyway, like, very well. And if you don't explain it, I'm definitely not going to understand it.
Like when we watch Doctor Who,
he explains like half of it.
It's funny too, because I had already watched it, so I was like, I pause it. I'm like, remember this part. And then, like, 8 episodes later, I'm like, remember that part I told you to remember? And you're like, no. I'm like, oh, God.
Have you read The Cabin at the End of the World? It's super disturbing.
I thought that was so funny that my eyes are watery. Like, because I was, like, laughing internally at the situation. Look at my eyes.
Yeah.
They're, like, legit. I'm, like, crying right now. It's so
I have
funny.
not read that book, but I have it, so we could definitely
oh, my God. Why are my eyes still watering? Stop. No, look at them.
We could think about reading that for Halloween. I read Desperation by Stephen King when I was too young to read it.
Are Stephen King books really scary?
Scared back then. I found a used copy and I want to reread it. I haven't read a lot of Stephen King, so I mean, the few books that I've read, I want to say it was the scariest, but it was only portions of it.
Good one. Good jokes, Meek.
Also, part of the reason I love that book so much was actually the character that was autistic and how well it portrayed a person living a real life and what they might go through. Got it. I've not read a horror or scary book that has actually scared me, but TV and movies can scare me super easily. Dude, like Haunting of Hill House is creepy.
It's pretty good.
Because you secretly love Middlegame, it's tears of admiration. I've read a handful of Stephen King and I didn't find any scary. King is not scary. He's oddly very sexual.
I've heard.
I haven't read any of his...
It has a big thing in it.
I don't remember that part. You told me. I also read it like 20 years ago.
Yeah, our friend Mike read it like... Kind of recently, and he's like, dude, there's some weird stuff in there. It's like, okay.
You would think, like, being a kid, though, that would be like a part you would remember. But I didn't.
Maybe it was so traumatizing that you just, like, blocked it in your brain.
It has the orgy scene. A lot of books contain can't say that word ever.
Ambiguity.
Yeah.
Ambiguity. Ambiguity. Boom. Got it.
Clues. What do you recommend methods for reading eloquent books? Like prettily read books?
Prettily.
Or written?
Is that a word? What's happening right now?
It depends on the book. Like, to me, I found 5th season very beautifully written, and he thought it was super boring. What books do I find beautifully written? I don't know. I think some Sanderson are very beautifully written. And, like, I feel like what makes a book very eloquent and beautiful is when it's written so well that you don't realize how well it's written. Like, until you sit back and think about it almost.
What just happened? What?
Like,
it's so good that you don't even know how good it is.
And you're so engaged that you have to take a step back and realize that this book was so well written that I didn't even appreciate how well written it was. Like, it just flowed. I feel like beautiful.
Computer's crooked in the background. Bummer. It was so crooked I didn't even realize how crooked it was. That's how.
Oh, yes, Strange the Dreamer was very beautiful. Beautifully written? Shut up. Alright. So if you guys follow me on Instagram. I've started doing my...
What's your Instagram, Meek?
Meekachii.
Is it Meekachii?
I second Strange the Dreamer. Thank you. So I started doing the kind of like voting for the next month's book on there, and it was very, very, very close this month. It was literally like 14, 15, and 16, I think, were the final three.
T agrees with me. High five, T. Boom. Gotti.
House of Leaves for your Halloween TBR. I have that book. So yeah, you guys chose The Secret History by Donna Tartt. It is huge. Again.
Huge.
And this book just, it doesn't sound like my typical type of book that I read.
Oh shoot, I didn't get to vote. Is the voting over?
Yeah.
Dang.
And you probably would have
not voted for that one, probably.
And you would have like skewed the results because like they were so close.
Yeah.
Why did people choose this one? So, I don't know. Everyone says this book is so freaking good. Like, it's an instant classic and that it's so good, which, I don't know. It doesn't sound like my type of book, so this is, like, my, outside of my favorite genre, April read for the Owls. But, I bought it because it has such ridiculous hype around it.
I just want to see how many pages it is. Somebody said that boy is thick.
Yeah.
I want to see.
I want to Gideon the Ninth. I mean, if you guys want... Oh, the audiobook for this is horrible, which sucks because the...
Oh, no. Wait, you already know that it's horrible?
Someone said...
Oh, okay. 559 pages.
So...
Less than I thought.
The author herself reads the audiobook.
Oh, that's cool.
I wanted Gideon too. I'm with you, T. I'm not interested in reading that one, but I hope you guys really enjoy it. Okay, this is not my typical book either. I read it in January, and I freaking loved it. I couldn't believe it.
What is it?
Tartt narrates it. I didn't mind the audio.
What is the book about?
I don't want to read it to you.
Why? Wait. Hold on. Tell me why you don't want to read it to me.
Because I feel like you're not going to want to read it. But everyone says it's so good.
That's terrible. Like, why are you doing this to me?
Truly deserving of the accolade.
Okay, don't read it to me then. If
modern
you don't...
classic. Donna Tartt's novel is a remarkable achievement.
That's not a synopsis.
It says, under the influence of their charismatic classics professor, a group of clever, eccentric misfits at an elite New England college discover a way of thinking and living that is a world away from the humdrum existence of their contemporaries. But when they go beyond the boundaries of normal morality, they slip gradually from obsession to corruption and betrayal, and at last inexorably into evil.
I don't know what the hell that means. That means nothing to me. But all I know is it sounds contemporary.
I've heard it's good.
I just hate things that take place in my time and my world. It's the worst. I don't want to live in this world anymore. I want to live in a magical fairyland world.
I feel like no one on here is going to read this book, which sucks because you guys voted for it. Maybe not you specifically, but I put a vote up and this is the one that won. If you want me to re-add, maybe next month I can re-add 2 of the other ones that got more votes into the voting pool.
You can leave a comment on this video so that we could go back and check it. Because I don't know who's going to watch it and when they're going to watch it. Maybe people are going to watch this one later.
Yeah, if you want me to add those 2 books. So it was Gideon the Ninth and... What other one?
I don't know. I didn't even know that was on there. I wouldn't have chosen that one because it says Secret History. There's only one Secret History, and that is Mistborn, A Secret History.
Oh, Serpent and Dove. So those 2 got a lot of...
What are those, like superhero names?
Votes also.
Hawk and Dove are superheroes.
Everyone is horrible, which they're supposed to be, and it's awesome.
In this?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'll like it then.
There's a speculative aspect. Imaginary Friend by Stephen Chbosky. I heard If We Were Villains better. Really? Because a lot of people in my Discord didn't like If We Were Villains. I loved Imaginary Friend. Serpent and Dove is so good. I don't mind. I will choose between the book you put up. Mistborn Epic. I hope this book is good. That's all I gotta say. I don't know. I've been meaning to read it forever. I got it as an add-on on Book of the Month for $10, so I was like, I guess I'll pick it up. You don't have to read it, but I mean, at least start it. If you don't like it...
you have to. If I have to read it, you have to read it. That's all I'm saying.
Like, I feel like just start reading it. If you don't like it, if you hate it that much, you could DNF it and come on here and trash it. That's what this is for. You don't have to love the books that are in the book club. You can hate them. You could talk on here all you want about
just
how
like
you
a
hate
real
them.
book club. It's not all great books.
Right? If I get audio on time, I will try it. So yeah, that's it.
When's the book club? The next one.
April 26th, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I DNF'd If We Were Villains. Too many Shakespeare references and inserts, and I'm not a fan of Shakespeare. T said she didn't like it either. I hope this doesn't have a lot of Shakespeare references.
The cover looks like it would.
Right? That's why I said that. Alright, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining. I'm glad so many people read this book this month. Oh, it's your boyfriend's birthday? I hope you can still make it. You can watch it after, though.
Make him read it.
No Shakespeare. Yeah, right? He could join. That's my tummy.
You hungry?
Time to go.
All right. Say bye, Meek.
Bye, Meek.
Bye, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, and leave a comment telling us what book isn't want to read next.
It's mythology, not Shakespeare. Am I supposed to know what that means?
Mythology is like myths and stuff. Withologies. What?
She said, haha, make him read a book. Audiobook,
Just trick him into it. Like, rip out all the pages and put it, like, on the walls. And just, like, he'll put it in front of the toilet. So when he's peeing...
And do a page a day.
A page a day. So as he pees, he's like, oh, this is pretty good.
Yeah. I was going to say, guys don't sit while peeing, but
no, you put it on the wall. Do weirdo, unless you sit when you pee. That's okay, too. I do it occasionally. It's not a big deal. It depends if you want to... Like, you can't make noise. Somebody's sleeping. You don't want to make too much noise, so you got to sit down.
This is getting awkward.
Sometimes.
Okay, bye.
Bye.